Welcome. Welcome for another session of power system stability where we have started for steady state stability studies. Today we are going to discuss about theoretical points related with two machine system with losses, especially for power angle curves and effect of inertia on steady state stability. Right? Let us have quick recap for previous session. In previous session, we learned very interesting numerical for finding steady state stability limit by Clark's diagram. That was really interesting and hope everyone, that is all of you, have obtained the answer for the steady state stability limit as approximately Pmax is equal to 1.04 per unit. Okay. So let us start for today's session. That is, first we are going to learn about power angle curves for the system with losses. So whenever we are saying losses, that means resistance must be considered in the circuit. Okay. So this is certain mathematical background before understanding the power angle curves for the two machine system with losses. So in short, we are understanding this mathematical background. It is not much required, that much not required while writing theoretically for this point. So in short, we are going to first understand this. Let the power angle curves of the two machine systems be considered first. The network including the reactances of the machines can be reduced to an equivalent pi connecting the two internal points of the machines and a neutral point. Let the following notation be used. Yes, we are familiar with all these notations when we learn about the power flow equations, where we try to construct Y bus, where we try to construct the admittance matrices. Okay. Similar notation here it is used, that is Y12. It is what? Of course, it is with respect to angle theta 1 2 or theta 2 1. It is mutual admittance of terminals 1 and 2. Y11, it is self admittance of terminal 1, that is sending end. Y22, of course, these are at the angle theta 11 and theta 22. Y22, it is self admittance of terminal 2, receiving end. Small y12, it is the admittance of architrave of pi. Architrave, that you will understand that what exactly architrave of pi. Pi circuit everybody is knowing. I am confident because you already have learned T network, pi network in your network analysis. So for that pi network, the two are the pillars, and between these two, whatever the horizontal line, that is known as what? That is the architrave. Okay, that is the architrave of pi circuit. Correct. This is also known as yes, when you learn about the two-port network in network analysis, you found out Y parameter, Z parameter, hybrid parameters. So there you learn this term, that is Y12, it is the transfer admittance. Right? Then Y01, it is the admittance of pillar of pi. Pillar, now you understood what do you mean by pillar? Pillar of pi. Okay, at the sending end. Then Y02, it is the admittance of pillar of pi at the receiving end. Theta 12, it is the angle of transfer or architrave impedance. Even at an angle delta 1, internal voltage of machine 1. Machine 1, of course, it is generator. Machine 2, it is of course related with motor. Therefore, it is E2 at an angle delta 2. Internal voltage of machine 2. Delta, it is the delta 1 minus delta 2, the angle by which E1 leads E2. Right? Okay. The terminal admittances have the following values in terms of the admittances of the elements of the equivalent pi. We are knowing this. You just note all these values. Y12 is equal to Y21, that is given as minus Y12 or Y12 at an angle of 180 degree minus theta 12. Y11, it is Y01 plus Y12. Y22, Y02 plus Y12. Theta 12, it is theta 21, and which is given as 180 degree minus theta 12. So also the power input to the network at the sending end. You are knowing this equation, so you just write down this equation and call this equation as a 1. Okay, so this is what was just a preliminary idea for understanding the power angle curves for two machine system with losses, that what are the different notations we are using to understand those power angle curves, right? Okay, and the input at the receiving end, that was given for the sending end, and for the receiving end the expression it is as shown in equation 2. Okay, if anybody is interested to obtain that how these equations 1 and 2 have been obtained, then they may refer Kimbark volume 1 chapter number 13. These expressions have been given. Okay, so time being we are not focusing on those expressions because these are not that much important, or that is not the our curriculum demand, or our syllabus demand that the expression or the derivation it is not required. So only we are focusing on power angle curves of the two machine system with losses. So with fixed magnitudes of internal voltages E1 and E2, the first term of the last line of each equation is constant, while the second term is cosine function. So by equation 1, maximum output of machine 1 occurs at delta is equal to 180 degree minus theta 1 2, that we call as delta M1. Okay, note down this delta M1 and delta M2 correctly. What is this delta M1? Maximum output of machine 1, that is generator, which occurs at delta is equal to 180 degree minus theta 1 2, that we represented as delta M1. Okay, and equation 2, maximum input of machine 2, that is motor, occurs at delta is equal to theta 1 2 is equal to delta M2. Okay, so delta M1 and delta M2, these are important. Delta M1, it is the angle at which the maximum output of machine 1 occurs, and delta M2, it is the maximum input of the machine 2, which occurs at delta M2, right? So you have understood delta M1, delta M2. Okay, moving further, with fixed magnitudes of internal voltages E1 and E2, the first term of the last line of each equation is constant, while the second term it is the cosine function. Okay, that we already have just seen. So what point you have to remember? Delta M1 and delta M2. What is this delta M1 and delta M2? It is the angle at which the maximum output of the machine occurs, and maximum input of the machine 2, and delta M2. And what is this theta 1 2? Because everywhere we have written it is 180 degree minus theta 1 minus theta 1 2. So what is that theta 1 2? Theta 1 2 is the angle of architrave impedance. Understood? Keep in mind only this, underline this sentence, that theta 1 2 is the angle of architrave impedance, right? Now theory we are going to see. Many times in your university exam, this theory they ask, that is related with the two machine system with losses, that is power angle curves, carrying 7 marks. So see here, the theory of steady state stability of circuits with resistance is complicated by the following factors or following facts. Which are those facts? That is, the first one, it is maximum power at the sending end exceeds the maximum power at the receiving end and occurs at a different angular separation of the two machines. That's why first we are going to focus on power angle curves, because it is mentioned maximum power at the sending end exceeds the maximum power at the receiving end and occurs at a different angular separation of the two machines, that is delta. Second, the maximum stable angle depends upon the relative inertias of the machines and upon governor action. That's why separate note will be effect of inertia. Okay, so the first point that we are going to discuss for today's session, it is the power angle curves. Okay, so what is this? Let the power angle curves of the two machines be considered first. Now case 1, we are going to consider different cases. Case 1, power angle curves of two machines connected through series resistance and inductive reactance as shown here. 1, 2 connected with this each other by R plus Jx. Okay, so R plus Jx, it is nothing but your architrave impedance. Okay, the pillar of the circuit here we did not consider. Architrave it is important, so P1 and P2 it is also marked. So the power angle curve of this case can be plotted as you can observe here. Power angle curve P1 from the generator side, therefore it has been drawn like this. For it is for motor, therefore P2 it is in the negative half. So it is marked here. So for P1, as we mentioned here, that the maximum occurs at delta M1, and for P2 maximum occurs at the maximum input to the machine occurs at delta M1. So what you observe here, for generator side, delta M1 which is obviously greater than 90 degree and delta M2 which is less than 90 degree. Okay, so that is the case 1 when the power when the two machines connected through series resistance and inductive reactance. Maximum output of machine 1 occurs at delta is equal to 180 degree minus theta 12, that we marked as what, delta M1, and maximum input of machine 2 occurs at delta is equal to theta 12, that is equal to delta M2. What is theta 12? It is the angle of architrave impedance. If this impedance consists of pure inductive reactance, then what will be theta 12? It is only 90 degree and both maxima occurs at delta is equal to 90 degree. But here it is not purely inductive reactance. Resistance it is considered there. Therefore, we have to consider delta M1 as what, 180 degree minus theta 12. Now for this case of two machines connected through series resistance and inductive reactance, theta 12 is less than 90 degree. Then maximum sent power occurs at value of delta greater than 90 degree. Observe those power angle curves shown on the right hand side of the slide. Getting me? So it is occur at what? Delta greater than 90 degree. And maximum received power at value delta less than 90 degree. Maximum sending power occurs at delta greater than 90 degree and maximum received power at value of delta less than 90 degree because of losses occurring on the system because of the presence of resistance. Understood? So power angle curves for these cases are plotted as shown here. The loss in the line is also plotted versus delta. That loss line you can see here, that is I square R is equal to P1 plus P2. Right? Okay. Case 2. Now for case 2, in previous case what we have considered, the architrave impedance. Okay. Now here that means the motor 1, generator 1 and motor 2, these are connected by R plus Jx, P1 and P2. Okay. Now P1 was the power output from the generator side, P2 that is the power input from the motor side. So case 2, power angle curves of two machines connected through reactance with an intermediate shunt resistance. Previous case resistance was in series. Now here you observe shunt resistance. Observe the first diagram. Jx and R, it is shown as a shunt resistance. When that is this now you are familiar. This circuit, it is pi network or T network? Correct. It is T circuit. Okay. So when the T circuit shown here, we have to convert it into the pi. Then architrave impedance you can easily find out. You know how to convert T to pi to T. Simple, star delta conversion, delta star conversion. So the architrave impedance will be what? The answer here it is. Now we are converting T to pi, that is what, star to delta. So the formula will be, if I am interested for star to delta, that means R12 if I am finding out, what will be its formula? R1 plus R2 plus R1 R2 divided by R3. Same formula it is used here. The values are Jx and R. Put all these values in that formula and what we obtain here? Minus x square by R plus J2x. Right? So this architrave impedance we obtained, the real part of which it is negative, minus x square by R. See the power angle curves. Now this time P1 and P2. Right? Now this time when your shunt resistance you are going to consider, now P1, the angle delta M1, it is less than 90 degree, and angle delta M2, which is related with the motor 2, it is greater than 90 degree because of the presence of the shunt resistance. Okay, so with negative resistance and inductive reactance, now theta 1 2 lies between 90 degree and 180 degree. Consequently, maximum sent power occurs at delta less than 90 degree and maximum received power at delta greater than 90 degree. Getting me? I will repeat this. Because of the shunt resistance. That is what? The negative resistance and the inductive reactance, theta 1 2 lies between 90 degree and 180 degree. Consequently, maximum sent power occurs at delta less than 90 degree. That is delta M1. If you observed on the previous slide those power angle curves, we find there that delta M1 occurs at less than 90 degree, whereas maximum received power at delta greater than 90 degree, that is delta M2. Correct? So the power angle curves for this case are given in above figure. The power consumed by the load is also shown. That is load line, it is also shown on that power angle curves. So with either series or shunt resistance, the maximum received power is less than the maximum sent power. This is true. Whatever may be the resistance, may be connected in series or shunt, the maximum received power is always less than maximum sent power because of that resistance connected in series or in shunt, the losses are occurring. I square R loss will be there. Therefore, it is true that the sentence, note down this sentence, underline this sentence, with either series or shunt resistance, the maximum received power is less than the maximum sent power. That we have proved here. This is the bottom line of today's session. What is that? I will repeat it. With either series or shunt resistance, the maximum received power is less than the maximum sent power. Right? So, now we can summarize this session, today's session. Today we have seen interesting point. See students, many times in your university exam, they always used to ask, write a short note on two machine system with losses and power angle curves. So there you have to write down all these steps. Okay. So what we have done first, we consider two machine system. Where we consider first the resistance, it is in series. We consider the pi network. Okay. For that pi network, for case 1, we consider architrave impedance. Right? Okay. Also, we mentioned that two machine system we are concerning. So, 1 indicates generator, 2 indicates motor. P1, P2 there, power output and power input. Power output P1 for generator, power input P2 for motor. What we observe? When the resistance was connected in series, when we consider the architrave impedance, then what we found that for sending end power, which is occurring at delta M1, which is greater than 90 degree, whereas receiving end power, which was occurring at delta M2, which was less than 90 degree, where we have calculated delta M1 and delta M2 as 180 degree minus theta 1 2. Okay, theta 1 2, it is the angle of architrave impedance. We can calculate it. Right? So, for that case, we have seen that maximum sending power, it is occurring at delta M1, which was greater than 90 degree, and maximum receiving end power occurring at delta M2, which was less than 90 degree. For case 2, when we consider the shunt resistance, when we consider shunt resistance, that means for T circuit, again we are going to calculate the architrave impedance. For that, we have to convert that T circuit to the pi circuit, that is star to delta. So using that formula, we have calculated that impedance, right? Again, we have drawn those power angle curves. Now by this time, what we obtained? We obtained the sending end power which is occurring at the angle delta m1, which is less than 90 degree. Whereas receiving end power occurs at delta m2, which is greater than 90 degree, but it is a receiving negative side. Therefore, we concluded here that whatever the resistance, series or shunt, it is true, it is fact that the sending end power is always greater than receiving end power, because we know that because of the resistance connected in series or shunt, the losses are going to be occurred. Okay, because of that factor, we can say that the sending end power, it is always greater than the receiving end power. Okay, that was the conclusion, and this was the summary related with the today's session, that is two machine system with losses, that is related with the power angle curves. In upcoming session, that will be the last point of the unit number 2, that is the effect of inertia. That what will be the effect of inertia for the system when we consider standard system, that is two machine system with losses. Okay, that will be the last point from unit number 2 that we will discuss in upcoming session. So hope you have understood today's session, that was related with some theoretical concept related with the steady state stability, that how the power angle curves play an important role when we consider two machine system with losses. Okay, and the resistance may be connected in series or shunt. Whatever may be the resistance connected either in series or shunt, it is true fact that sending end power always greater than the receiving end power, because of the loss factor plays an important role, right? So that's all for today's session. If you are having any kind of difficulty, you may ask during our discussion meet. I would like to say one point here, that see, this is theoretical point. So what I feel, that all of you please write down this theoretical question or theoretical answer in your class copy. So while writing in your university exam, what you have to do, you have to consider two cases. You have to write down for two cases, that is case 1 and case 2, as we have mentioned here. And then so also for case 1, you have to draw single diagram showing machine 1, machine 2 and the impedance R plus Jx. Similarly, for that diagram, you have to draw power angle curves showing the clear notation for delta m1 and delta m2, which is greater than 90 degree or less than 90 degree. Why I am telling you, if you want to score full marks for this theoretical question. Okay, so this is for case 1. And for case 2, again what you have to draw, again that diagram where the resistance has been shown as a shunted resistance. With respect to that, draw again power angle curves. This time, what you have to note down carefully, the angle delta m1 and delta m2. Because for this case, we have seen that delta m1 which is occurring less than 90 degree and delta m2, but it is a negative power, delta m2 occurring at 90 degree. And then clearly mention to the last line there, underline that. Write down neatly and underline that whatever may be the resistances, series or shunt, right? The sending end power, it is greater than the that is the receiving end power. Mention that line, underline that line, so that out of 7, mostly you should secure their 6 marks. Okay, but write it neatly, draw the diagrams clean and clear, and also label diagrams. Okay, so that's all for today's session. For next session, we are going to see what is the effect of inertia. That will be the last point from this unit 2. Okay, so that's all. I may say thank you to all.